What is up, you guys? It is Friday. We had a good day in the market finally. It moved, it trended. It didn't just do this all day long, it did this. Caught some moves, feel pretty good about it. A good way to kick off the new month and in the week, end the week. We don't always get these kinds of moves on Fridays. Every once in a while, yeah, but sometimes Fridays just end up being a little choppy. So it was a pleasant surprise. All right, so um, yesterday, just taking a quick look at the SPY here. Let me get my little pencil. So looking at the SPY, these were two levels that I was watching yesterday, and we lost this level in the at the end of the day yesterday, and so I like that we pulled back to it, and then we just rejected it, and it was just a clean downtrend all day long down to here, and then we bounced in this area. So it moves both ways. I was done before the bounce. I did think about taking something, but I was like, you know what? I've had a good day, and I'm just gonna be done for the day. But yeah, a great day in the markets. Hopefully you guys caught something. But yeah, let's get to it. So Nvidia was definitely my trade of the day here. Let's take it over to the daily. Okay, so typically when I trade ranges, I'm looking for more like this area. Reason being, not because I don't like these areas, but typically I'm going to get more plays here in this area where we've had multiple candle touches. It's kind of just like you're able to get a lot of like long end shorts off of that level. It's more of almost like an inflection point, right? But I do like playing the tippy top and the tippy bottom. I've said those a lot, tippy top and tippy bottom in my reviews or my recaps recently. Um, but so today, that's basically what we had sitting right here, right? And so NVIDIA a few days ago threw this basically a fake breakout above the level, right? And this reversal candle. And so in the morning, we were definitely near this level. And so I was interested to see what happened. And then if I take it over to like the 30-minute here, this gives you an idea as well. So like when you have higher time frame levels, they can be kind of like they can be decent sized areas some of the time, and so you're not always quite sure how close is my level to the actual level that's gonna like trigger or be able to play off of. When you take it down to a time frame that's lower than the like daily or weekly, so like we're looking at 30, you can now see like where the level would be, right? So I can definitely clearly see this range on the 30-minute chart, and like that is super sexy to me. That is a super sexy area to play, because we're either gonna reclaim this level and bounce back up into this range, or we're gonna reject it and then look at this waterfall down here. I mean, this, I guess, a waterfall of the day. What would this be? A roller coaster, I guess, going up, up, up before it drops. And if I zoom out a little bit, after this drop here, right? So that's where the level is. After this drop, this is basically the bottom of like kind of the next area of support or resistance. So we've lost this level and now we're just kind of like in this area, right? So now look where we are. Basically the midpoint. It's not a straight line, but you get the point. Basically the midpoint of this range here, right? So that's where we went today on NVIDIA. And let me just show you one last thing. This was my target for it. I had my eye here on the weekly chart looking at the pivots. So we've got R4 on the pivots here. So this is actually looking like a break of R4 on the weekly, right? And this possibly a pullback to R4 before either it continues or it loses it and has like a false breakout of this. But so I definitely wanted to at least heavily partial here. I was just kind of seeing what the market was doing, but I ended up getting like all out right above that level, like 30 cents above it. So yeah, here's the trade. Back it up here. We can start with the 1 minute real quick. So I did learn one thing today, which was so in this first entry here, first one, I got squeezed out, and my stop loss was like way too tight. So the ATR on this is about 13 bucks. So my stop loss should have been $1.30. So if my level is here at 272.30, $1.30 would be 273.50. So it would be up here. And when I double clicked on my chart to add my stop loss and then hit my limit order in, I wasn't really paying attention because I thought the move was going to be really fast. And so I was like eager to get in. And that was just like one little mistake that I made on this today. I think what I'm going to actually start doing in the pre-market, which might be helpful for other people who are watching this who use ATR or are already kind of like thinking about where they might want their stop to be. When you're in, when you're zoomed in on something, it can be hard to like remember exactly where you want to click, right? So in the morning when I've decided, my level and that I want to be 10% ATR away on either side, no matter if I'm long or short, I'm going to start adding different levels here. So like I could have done this morning and I'll probably start doing this. So like basically I have another level tool. We'll just whatever, click somewhere. So it's this dotted line. And I'm just gonna start doing that um, around my levels. So I don't have to think about it when I'm in the moment. So, utilizing tools to my advantage like that. So now I know where exactly my stop is going to be. And that way too, if I'm in manually, I know exactly where I need to hit out of this. So that'll be fun to add next week. So yeah, I entered here, got squeezed out, got right back in when it flushed the level again, and we got this nice move down. I partialed at S4. I took one more partial off here because we came back down to the bottom of this range and we bounced. So I was like, you know what? I don't know. This could do this and then like do that. So I just definitely want to take some money off the table here. So I partialed here. And then as we pulled back to VWAP, I noticed that we were having basically a bear flag forming, right, with like an ABCD at the bottom. And at the same time, at the same time, there was something happening on the cues, but let me, one more thing here. The tape, there's a really big order that printed, I believe it was at 168.88 or something like that. It was like somewhere in this area, there was a really big order that printed and then it flushed down. So I was thinking, you know what? I think someone was actually up here selling. And so now we're just going to get back up here and maybe consolidate before we drop. So there were a couple things in play here. And then I'll just show you the cues real quick because that was helpful as well. Let me take it over to the 5. So the cues at the same time when I decided to add into this position, I saw that there was this range in the pre-market, right? So when I added into this position, we had already lost this range, but then we were pushing back to it and cues were throwing wicks and having a hard time getting into this range. So I thought, you know what, if the cues continue to struggle to get into this range, this is actually a safe add for me on NVIDIA. And sure enough, this cue sold off after that. And yeah, it ended up being a great little extra bit of pocket change here. So I added into it here and I took a quick partial again near the bottom of this range just in case. And then I needed to walk my dogs and I was waiting for, this was going to be my all out target. I was waiting for that, but I didn't want to risk it. And I wanted to like make sure I had a good Friday. I would have been really bummed if I didn't partial here and then it bounced, and I never got the partial. So I took a little bit more off here before I walked the dogs. And then I got the all out and I basically caught the bottom of this, which is really awesome. There were still some bids to the downside, but I was like, you know what? I think that R4 on the weekly is probably gonna bounce this guy. So, and sure enough, it did. So NVIDIA was awesome. That was probably my, it was my best trade of the day. Not probably, it was. And then I just took a little trade on Mara. So on Mara, on the daily/weekly, get the weekly over here. What I like about this is this area here, right? So we've got resistance here, which is now like basically a support area and was a support area before, and now it's resistance again. And then if I take it to the daily, similar to NVIDIA in a sense that we kind of had this like almost fake break back into the range. So I liked that. And then on the 30, if you back it up here, you can basically see this as a range as well. So I was definitely interested in this area based off of the higher time frames paired with the 30-minute chart. I thought maybe we would lose it and we would drop, but the IWM was pretty strong this morning, and that's what Mara is part of. That's the ETF that's part of. I definitely got into a choppy mess on it, but it never stopped me out. So I got an entry under the level. So here's my level. Grabbed my entry there. It chopped forever. Like if I zoom in on this, it's horrendous. So yeah, I got in here and then I just got stuck in this mess. And eventually it dropped and then I partialed here on it. And then it had this nice move up here. I actually ended up getting out at break even here. I was hoping for like a 26 on this, but this is why it bounced. If you back up here, we basically have this range here that it's trying to get through, and this bounce is the bottom of this range here. And this bottom is support here, but if you look over here on this range here, it was resistance here. So it's definitely an area that you want to watch when, resistance becomes support and vice versa. So I partialed there and it wasn't able to crack through this and back down into like this range here. I see VPOC sitting here value. So I was hoping for a little bit more of a move, but IWM bounced at that time and it kicked me on out of this guy. Take a look at this. This morning on IWM. I'll put my pivots on here, yeah. So IWM shot up this morning through R3, struggled to get to R4, but definitely like hung out here like attempting to, and that's when Mara was also chopping around like this. And then as soon as IWM sold off, Mara went with it. And then we had this bounce at pre-market low on IWM, and Mara bounced at the same time at that range level, and then it just went up. So really utilizing and pairing the sectors and the markets with your stock can be so beneficial, because you might be looking at the L2 and see that it probably can go to a location on the L2. And then all of a sudden your stock turns and you're like, what on earth happened? The sector and the market overall can really help you with that. It took me a long time to figure that out. And I would be in trades that I just didn't understand why they weren't working. And a lot of the time it's the market and the overall sector that can change the direction of your stock. So keep an eye out on that. It's super helpful. But yeah, that's it. I just traded Mara and NVIDIA, and then I was going to trade AMD, but it was like 10 cents from my level. I had a level up here and I saw it pushing and it was really struggling to get up here. And I almost entered into this, but because I hadn't given it quite as much thought as I had given Mara and NVIDIA, I didn't get into it. And also, I was about to enter Mara and I was about to enter NVIDIA, or I may have already been in NVIDIA. And I was just like, that's just too much for me to like keep my brain at one time. So yeah, AMD had this amazing move down. Like that was incredible. So, one day when I have enough capital and maybe some more screens and some more brain space, I could catch them all at the same time. But yeah, a really fun day in the markets. I wish I could have been in more stuff, but I'm very happy that I caught a few trades today and get to go into the weekend on a good note. And hopefully you guys did too. And you know what? If it was a bad day, that's okay. You can come back on Monday, and hopefully Monday will be a better day for you. And hopefully we continue to get some moves now, since it's the start of a new quarter. So hopefully money starts shifting around. All right, you guys, have a great weekend, and I will catch you next week. All right, peace.